You will see me engage, you will see me disengage, and I think you will probably see me over-engage as well.
Welcome back to Housewives Nightcap. We are thrilled to welcome her straight from the icy Alps of Salt Lake City. Welcome, Meredith Marks.
Hi, how are you?
We are so excited to have the Blazer Queen back.
On our screen. We needed you. We've missed you. We've missed Salt Lake as a whole.
Oh, well, we're just give it a few days. We're almost there.
So take things back for us a little bit. You guys, your family looks happy and healthy. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. You know, Seth and I are in a very positive, strong place, which is great because last year you saw us at the absolute worst of our worst. And so that's very positive. We're going, you know, very strong, positive direction with a few bumps on the road. Nothing's perfect. And the kids are all doing really well too. Reed and Brooks are both in New York, and Chloe is back at Boulder for school, and everyone's thriving.
We love to hear it, especially your marriage with Seth, because, you know, last season we were just cheering the two of you on, and it's so fun to see you guys doing well. So what is the secret to that? Like, what did you figure out a certain thing that just needed to click?
You know, really for us, it was just a complete breakdown in trust and communication. Like it was something that spiraled over a long time, and because we were trying to hide these issues for so long from our children, we're not dealing with them, and we're kind of sweeping things under the rug and just trying to get through until they left the house. And then once they left the house, we realized that we really did want to be together. And, you know, it wasn't just the kids, but we had a lot to work on, and we had to start communicating. And that was really the key, is, you know, being able to talk openly and freely and trust enough, because our communication had been so broken.
Brought up, you know, you're kind of hiding things from the kids. So now everyone saw it all go down last season. You guys are obviously in a way better place. So how is the whole dynamic as a whole?
So as a whole, you know, it's interesting because our kids had to deal with a lot of changes. You know, they were very used to parenting that was almost really like divorced parents, you know, where they could come and ask me a question and I would say no, and then they could go to Seth and he would say yes, and it was fun. You know, and that's a very common thing with divorced parents, and usually with married parents who are acting as a common unit, that doesn't happen. So they had to adjust again to having parents that were actually communicating and parenting together. And I think that took a moment for them. It was a lot on them, you know. It's that year for my children was really difficult. You know, they went and they found out that their parents had been separated just shortly before, maybe a month before the season started. And they had to go through it on, you know, worldwide television. That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's really a lot. But your family seems, you know, you're back on the road, and it's great to see. Last season, we saw your co-star Lisa was like really devastated about your marriage, potentially falling, you know, ending in divorce because you guys were so close. What happens with you and Lisa this season? It looks like there is some distance between you guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's some tension between Lisa and I at times in the season. She and I we just don't really see eye to eye on certain things, and you will see us go through the conflict to, you know, come to resolution. And that's, at the end of it, that's what friendship is about, is, you know, nothing, if it's real and genuine, it's not going to be smooth sailing every minute. It's that you can have those hard conversations and work through them or not. But
Right.
you know, that's a big part of any relationship.
So you mentioned that you guys weren't seeing eye to eye. Is it safe to say the topic might be of a Jen Shah situation that goes down?
I mean, that was definitely part of it, you know, as everybody who watched the first season knows, I don't believe in telling people not to be friends with each other, or that they should be friends or whatever. I think that's
No, it's like you guys are adults. You're grown, right?
exactly. So it was less about her friendship with Jen and more about just acknowledging certain things in our friendship that maybe were somewhat impacted by Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So
Well, go ahead, Laura.
we're
No,
about
I
to
was
say
just
the same exact
we're
thing.
gonna say the same. The trailer and like that first sneak peek that we just saw it's like whoa, like it's like oh my god, it's like the best TV we have seen in a while. So tell us about that. When were you shocked by this news of Jen Shah that day? Were you there? Because we didn't see you in the bus.
I was not there.
Okay.
But yes, of course, hearing anybody that you know getting arrested on a specific day is always going to be a shocker. Like you don't wake up in the morning and say, gee, I wonder which of my friends is going to get arrested today. So yeah, of course I was surprised, you know.
But in the trailer, she accuses you of knowing about the arrest before it happened. Maybe you were involved in it. You called the police to say
Feds, because we all have the feds on speed dial, you know.
You know, so what do you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a big family. I've got multiple companies that I run. I have a lot of other things today that just sit and chit chat with the FBI. Let me tell you that.
Absolutely, I can imagine. So unfortunately, Jen's not the first housewife we've seen go through legal troubles. We've seen a couple housewives go through this.
Yeah, most recently with Erica Jane, as she is dealing with this scandal with her estranged husband, Tom.
Are you guys going to be questioning Jen? Like, is this real? What's happening? Or will we see you guys kind of like fully support her?
I think you'll see a full range. I think everybody handled the situation very differently. I think that all of us have different dynamics and relationships with Jen, and that's certainly going to impact how you handle this type of news. So I think you'll see, you know, everything from just blind loyalty to, you know, very direct questioning and, you know, the whole gamut for sure. And everything in between, people flip-flopping and playing both sides and all of it.
We've seen that on Beverly Hills, like the flip-flopping, like the, oh, I'm fully supportive of you. And then like the camera, you know, she's not in the scene anymore and they're like questioning her.
And that's fine. Everyone should sit where they sit in the situation, but just be honest about it, especially with Jen. If you were going to say, I fully support you, look, we all know I've had my issues, but if I were standing in those shoes, I would want to know who supports me and who does not very clearly. I just want the answer.
And is it safe to say that you don't support Jen this season?
I think you have to watch and see.
Well, I think like it seems like you guys get into it, which I'm looking forward to just seeing how you challenge her, because I think a lot of fans also are a little bit skeptical. I think fans were skeptical before this all went down of her situation. So it will be interesting to see it unfold. Okay, besides all the Jen drama, the cult rumors come up about Mary again. And I said to Lauren, like, how is this again coming up? How do we see that play out?
So, I mean, all I can really speak to is what I know, which is, you know, as you all saw, I went to Mary's church. I thought it was a really great experience. I saw that people really love Mary. They love the church. They loved the whole service. High energy. It was actually fun, which I don't think I've ever said about church before. Not that I've gone to that many churches, but a few times. So, you know, there is nothing there that would lead me to believe that, you know, it's a cult or that anyone is there against their will or anything of that nature. That's all I can say. There is absolutely nothing that would make me think that at all.
So before we let you go, I also need to quickly ask about the new housewife. We got a new housewife in the mix. I mean, what a season to come on. Also, you guys are only second season, but that first season delivered, but coming in hot second season. How would you describe her as this new housewife?
Jenny?
Yes.
So I have to say, I think Jen's description was not bad as a firecracker. She can be a little firecracker, you know. She's, you know, Jenny comes across with this very like calm demeanor, but then like all of a sudden she'll just, as you saw in the trailer, and you know, she just kind of like comes in very hot. And it's interesting because she has to navigate situations that occurred when she wasn't present. You know, there's a lot of stuff that sort of had started last year that she's thrown into, some by choice. She chooses to navigate some of it. But it's a tough situation to stand in when you're, you know, just kind of getting to know everybody. And she does a pretty good job at it overall.
Okay,
Not perfect, but sorry, Jenny, not perfect, but pretty good.
Are you going to see you engage a little more this season, or will we be disengaging again?
Disengaging. I say that quite often. I'm like, I'm disengaging. No.
Look, there is definitely a point where you know it is past any kind of positive return, and that's when it's time to disengage. And that takes a certain level of discipline. And I did not have quite as much discipline this season. You know, I was a much more emotional person. I had lost my father on the first day we started filming, which sort of put me in a bit of a spiral. So you will see me engage, you will see me disengage, and I think you will probably see me over-engage as well.
Well, we are so sorry to hear about your father and going through that. It's so horrible. But sometimes, you know, I feel like loss can really make us realize what's important, you know, and refocus us a little bit, and make us live better. So hopefully it did that for you. But we are excited to see you engage, disengage, and
Over-engage.
over-engage.
I'm really excited for the over-engaged part. Like, I gotta be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, go through these moments and you're so charged and you don't really know, you know, if you over-engage. I mean, when I said, oh, no, that was fine. I felt much more heated at the moment. And so,